him this year. When Elijah has trouble with organization, he would find it most beneficial if large assignments could be broken up into small, more manageable parts. Okay, so we did discuss some of the interventions for Elijah, and I will talk about my recommendations as well. Let's see. What we did at home to work on some of these things is, first of all, Elijah was going to Learning RX, and that was helpful for him because they were specifically working to improve Elijah's attention skills, so to help him actually improve that processing speed, improve his short-term memory, and his working memory as well. And even though those skills were mildly deficient for him, we can all get stronger at paying attention. And the setting is one in which there are multiple metronomes going on at one time. So all of the different training, it's intense training, it's systematic, it's repetitive. And so all of the training exercises, brain exercises, are done to a metronome. And so you hear everybody else's metronome going on, but you have to pay attention to what you're doing. And while this is great, I wanted Elijah to be able to generalize that focus and sustained attention in the classroom. And that is what happened ultimately. At home, we worked on things like playing fun games as a part of learning. So we've kind of always done these things because I knew in the back of my mind that Elijah is the kinesthetic and tactile learner. He's a builder, he's a creator, he's a designer, but he also loves to have that body in motion. And so we would practice spelling words and math facts while tossing a ball back and forth, jumping on a trampoline, jumping rope. We would play all sorts of games like that where I could reinforce especially the subjects that he's having the most difficulty in school, which primarily is not his reading fluency, but reading comprehension, and then also just to reinforce the math facts and social studies, which wasn't my favorite subject either, but it all depends on how it was taught. Using a stopwatch was something that's very effective for Elijah because he likes to challenge himself. He likes to try to beat himself and to improve his skills. And so that is something that I recommend actually for all students to improve that processing speed. And while Elijah is not in a gifted and talented program, I do find that the students that are in GT actually the one thing that they tend to be weakest in is they're so logical and analytical in their thinking that they process information more slowly. And so sometimes they don't pass the test to get into GT classes or things like that, or they don't do well on achievement tests where time is involved. So that is something that is important and worked well for Elijah. All right, let's see. Elijah did do a journal, and I think that was very helpful for him because he was able to be kind of introspective and stop and recognize, well, what does it look like when I'm not paying attention? Is my body moving? Are my hands active? Am I listening and engaged to what the teacher is saying? And so we practiced being able for him to, you hear people say to capture your negative thoughts. Well, for him, I was asking him to kind of recognize and pay attention and stop when he noticed that he was getting distracted or experiencing the off-task behavior, and to make a conscious effort to attend and re-engage with the teacher. So that was important. Let's see. We did see with the intervention and based on the behavior observation assessment that Elijah's off-task behavior did decrease as we went through, as he was being supported by the teacher, receiving the extra support by me, and attending Learning RX. Okay. So the intervention plan did work. And I feel like this process in general was very beneficial because it allowed me to really identify what is going on with Elijah for sure, and come up with some intervention strategies to be able to help him and support him so that he can be the best learner that he can be. So my recommendations to the teacher were that she deliver instruction in a visual or kinesthetic manner, that she allow for clarification questions if instruction is not understood, that she provide the study guide for preparation, in preparation for tests, which again, I said she already does that, and to break large assignments into smaller, more achievable parts, which she is doing, and that has been effective as well. Instruction should be taught in a fun, creative manner to enhance retention. One of the things that Elijah's teacher does that I love is she actually does karaoke with the kids. And in doing this, they're practicing math facts, they're practicing dates, they're practicing all sorts of things that they need to learn, and they're practicing reading. And so she is using karaoke as a method, a fun, creative method to help them better learn to read more fluently. Also allowing tests and more challenging assignments to be completed earlier in the week. And this is not always possible, I know, with so many students, but Elijah does tend to fade out toward the end of the week, so this would be something beneficial for him. To provide visuals and manipulatives when teaching abstract subjects, especially with math. Even though he said that was his favorite subject, that is an area that is sometimes difficult for him, but he works best with the manipulatives. To create time parameters in which work needs to be completed. Make it a game. He likes to challenge himself. Again, using a stopwatch to empower Elijah to beat his fastest time. Providing repeated review and practice for abstract subject matter. And to utilize Elijah's interests when teaching all subjects. One really important thing is to seat Elijah away from visual distractions, to provide prompting when needed to complete tasks efficiently as well. So going back to sitting him away from visual distractions, if Elijah is sitting behind a student, then he's going to be interested in what that student's doing or what they're talking about and not pay attention to the teacher. So we don't want that to happen. So those were pretty much the recommendations that I made. The teacher did utilize those recommendations in the classroom, and we found that the intervention was successful and that the plan was successful. So this was a great process. I learned a lot about my child and am better able now to help him be an effective, efficient learner for the rest of his life. Thank you.